I cannot begin to emphasize just how much self-obsession and self-love has saved me. I'm gonna get into how self-obsession, self-love, self-care has truly changed my life for the better. I don't care what anybody says. I love myself. I'm obsessed with myself, and I'm gonna keep being obsessed and loving myself. Because why would you want people to stay small? Why would you want people to be humble, which this is a literal definition of what being humble is? No. I'm gonna understand my worth. I'm gonna understand how much I'm capable of. I'm gonna believe in myself, and you should too. If you don't believe me, then stick around, listen to what I have to say. Maybe I might change your mind, but if not, if you're not interested in the slightest bit, then you're welcome to click off. Or if you just want to hate, then that's fine too. Feel free to engage. I'm doing a little get ready with me, but I did cheat a little bit because I already did my eyebrows and my eyeliner. Basically just doing my base now. As life has been amazing recently, so much that's coming into fruition, so much that's exciting me, making me feel like all of the pain, all of the turmoil that I experienced in the past was not in vain. Sometimes we feel like we are just meant to struggle, everything bad happens to us, we're just doomed for life, but that is not the case at all. And I can tell you confidently that no pain is in vain. And yes, seeing your goals come into fruition and having that physical reference that you can refer back to in times of maybe when you're doubting yourself, when you don't feel confident, it is great to have that reference. But I must say, before I had even seen any physical proof of my life bettering, it had to start from within. Okay. So I've gone into this before in previous videos, talking about healing, talking about the inner work. So if you were interested in hearing more about that in those videos, then feel free to check out my channel. It's just that I don't want to repeat things that I've said, but if I do kind of reiterate the same thing, then I won't go like too much into detail about it. I want to tell a quick little story though that happened recently, where I took myself out on a Valentine's Day for the second year in a row. And last year when I took myself out, it was fun, don't get me wrong, it was really fun, and I vlogged the whole thing. But this year it was like 10 times better because I basically gave myself all 5 love languages. I planned and booked the whole day in advance because that's what I would want if I was in a relationship. Like, I'm not trying to do spontaneous things on a busy day. I want things to be booked and ready and planned. I bought myself flowers. I took myself out to a very fancy 3 Michelin star restaurant. I've never been to a restaurant like that ever, but I've always wanted to be wined and dined, so I wined and dined myself. I booked a massage and it was, oh my god, the best massage I've ever had in my life. And I have a list of affirmations I repeat to myself every morning and every night. So that's like words of affirmation, quality time. I literally spent quality time with myself the entire day, being very present, smiling at strangers and just being so warm and welcoming, because I literally was so grateful. I am grateful, but in that moment it was just pure gratitude. I really want to emphasize that this was not the case for me before at all. I was someone who thought they were doomed for life and really saw the world working against me. But ever since I just started not giving a flying F about being perceived, about being seen, about anyone else's opinions but mine, I truly feel so much more happier. I feel more fulfilled, I feel freer, I feel lighter, because I'm just living for me. It's the way you want to live. Because why would you want to be living your life for somebody else? Why would you want to be living out of fear basically about what people have to say about you? There's one thing that I've learned as well, is that happy people really don't judge. You're not going to find somebody who is truly happy with themselves and their lives and everything in their lives, their relationships, their career, everything. You're not going to catch somebody like that bring somebody else down. Because what's the point? There's nothing fulfilling, there's nothing fun, there's nothing even remotely interesting about bringing somebody else down. Those that do judge you, those that do try to bring you down, you know what they are, you know what they're like. They are insecure. It's okay. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm free from all insecurities, that I'm free from feeling anxiety, free from feeling fear, free from feeling low vibrational frequencies like anger, I'm not sitting here telling you that. I'm still a human who feels the whole spectrum of emotions, and I love it, I embrace it. But the reason why I love and embrace it is because I've fallen in love with the way that I am, the way that I think, the way that I perceive things. I couldn't have done that if I was afraid to be in my own head or if I didn't accept myself. Going back to the original point of me talking about that solo date, how it was so much fun, and it was literally everything that I wanted to do on Valentine's Day if I was in a relationship. Yeah, the reason why I was talking about that is because of this revelation that I had that I'm like extremely comfortable with myself. And I remembered, wait, I used to be so afraid to be in my own solitude. I would avoid sitting with my thoughts. I would avoid feeling my feelings, constant distractions, you know, TV playing in the background, music always blasting, never like sitting with myself intentionally, trying to be with other people all the time to avoid like being in my own company. And it really just occurred to me that I'm a changed woman. I'm completely different to that person now, and it's mind-blowing. I can't even begin to express in words just how amazing it is to have reached this place. And I don't want to gatekeep or anything. I want you guys to experience this too. This is not just me as well, like trying to be like, oh, look at me, I'm this, that, and the other. No. I'm saying this because I want to inspire you guys, because I want to let you guys know that it is possible, that you don't have to stay in the same place the rest of your life if it's not fulfilling you. You can become a completely different person. You get to create your own reality, and it's such a powerful thing. Like, really grasp into the fact that you get to create your own reality. You get to create the joy, the fun, the love, the peace. It all starts with you, and that means you have so much power. Having internal power is so much better than having power over external things. Internal power is the real power, in my opinion. So again, I don't want to reiterate things that I've already said in my videos in the past, but it really just starts with you getting to know yourself and learning to actually like yourself, and then over time you can love yourself and then be obsessed with yourself. A lot of people have their own perceptions about self-obsession, self-love, how it's like a coping mechanism or something for being alone, or how it's narcissism, but that could not be further from the truth. I'm reading this book right now. Well, I've already read it, but it's like a new edition of the book with 3 new chapters. Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers. This book, I'm not even kidding, if I could highlight the entire thing, I absolutely would. There's just so much useful, helpful information in here that really shifts your perspective in the most positive way. It's just an incredible book, and I really highly recommend it. It's Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers by Tam Kaur. I don't want to take all the credit for the mindset that I've created. I mean, obviously I'm taking credit for taking control of my life, but this person, this content creator, author that I've had the pleasure of meeting twice, has been a big inspiration of mine for 3 years now, and she's been a big help in helping myself. Everything that she comprises in her videos are incredibly helpful, and I have taken inspiration from that and applied it into my own life. That's why I don't want to take full credit for the ways of my thinking now, because it is inspired by some of her ideologies and beliefs. I highly recommend watching her videos, reading this book. There's just so much to learn. By the way, her whole brand is basically self-obsessed, so that is also inspired by her. But the reason why I brought her up specifically was because of the whole self-love versus narcissism debate, and she goes into really good detail between like both of those sides and like the differences between them, because there are massive differences between them. If you are not interested in buying the book, then I just kind of want to debrief the clear differences between narcissism and self-love, because I think it is really important to know the difference. Self-obsessed makes it seem like you are only obsessed with yourself, and you are obsessed with yourself, but the key difference is that the more you pour into your own cup, the more you can pour into other people's cups. Whereas if you're a narcissist, then you genuinely have no care for other people, and you just want to pour into your cup, pour into your cup, pour into your cup. There's no balance between giving to yourself and giving back to others. Another key difference about narcissism is that it's not love, it's not genuine love and care that they give to themselves. They just have a very grandiose image of themselves, whereas self-obsessed people and people that love themselves, they do think of themselves highly. They have high standards because they know their worth, but they don't think they're better than anybody. They don't have a superior complex. They don't try to use other people for their own advantage. They accept themselves as well. They recognize they have flaws. We don't see ourselves as these godlike beings. We recognize that we are humans living a human experience for the very first time in our lives, so we are bound to make mistakes, but we're not defining ourselves by those mistakes, but we are accepting that it's okay, that it's fine, that we're not gonna like inflict any harm on ourselves or on others because of the way that we make mistakes or the way that we decide things for ourselves if it's not the best thing at the time, if you know what I mean. So now I'm gonna go into detail about how self-obsession has changed my life for the better, literally saved my life. It will probably help to convince you that it's okay to love yourself, it's okay to obsess over yourself. As long as you are not putting other people down, which is borderline narcissism, then you are more than welcome to love yourself, obsess over yourself, and know your worth. So the biggest thing really is the confidence that I've gained, and when you have intrinsic confidence, it flows into other areas of your life and you are able to love yourself, learn about your worth, understand your worth, set boundaries because you know your worth, attract the most fulfilling, positively abundant experiences, people, opportunities. Intrinsic confidence is definitely by far the biggest thing that has come out of me learning to love myself, even just learning to like myself at first, because I didn't at one point, but now that I do, it's like there's no going back. There's no chance in hell that I won't ever know how to like myself or love myself anymore. So, and because I've gained this confidence, I now attract these glamorous experiences. For so long I had perceived myself as somebody who is going to be stuck in the same area with the same people for the rest of my life, not doing much and just not really living life. So to know that that is transforming into something bigger than I could have ever imagined is insane, and the biggest sign of them all that things do get better and things can get better, but you have to obviously allow things to get better. This doesn't really have anything to do with it, but it's just an example that popped into my head right now. If you are somebody that complains that you're always lonely and that you don't have any friends, but you don't make the effort to find those friends and to put yourself out there and to actually allow people into your life, I get it. Sometimes it's hard to actually go out in public and go to these events, go to areas, places where people you may align with are. It's not gonna work in your favor if you are complaining that you don't have any friends but you don't do anything to change that, you know. And it applies for literally everything else in life. The same with the relationship with yourself, same with career, with work. Like, you can't complain about certain things, like not having the job that you want, not having the relationship with yourself that you want, if you're not making a difference in doing so, and if you're not bothered to do so. You're just literally complaining. Of course it's okay to be like, I don't like this about my life, but then what are you going to do about it? What are you actually going to do about it? Are you just going to sit here and let your life flow past you while everybody else is working towards something that they care about, that will help them and help others? Or, you know, are you actually going to sit with yourself and try to work out bit by bit, because there's no need to rush, work out bit by bit on how you can navigate where you want to be, basically. And this just came to my head as well. Another thing about self-love is holding yourself accountable. Self-love is not all joyous, it's not all like la da da da, you know, sunshines, rainbows. It's a lot of the difficult work that a lot of people don't want to do. And I know I kind of touched base on this earlier on, and again I touch more on inner work in different videos that I've done, but what I'm speaking about specifically is holding yourself accountable. In my opinion, there is nothing more unattractive than somebody who cannot hold themselves accountable, somebody that's in denial of their actions towards themselves and towards other people. This links into self-love is because when you love yourself, when you care about yourself, you want the best for yourself. So why would you want to be in denial? Why would you want to not take responsibility for your actions, for your mistakes? Because if you don't, then you're literally staying in the same place. You are literally not learning, you are not growing. And if you're not learning and you're not growing, then how can you say that you like yourself? How can you say that you love yourself? Because that's not the best for you. That's not the best for anybody. But some people will choose to be like that for the rest of their lives. If they want to do that, cool. But if you're not happy doing that, then what are you going to do about it? I'm going to try to slow down while I'm talking, because I just get so, like, when I get excited and passionate, I just talk really quickly. But this is more obvious when it comes to self-love, but obviously, like, pedestalizing yourself, that's a big part of it too, because you really cannot live your best life if you're putting everything and everyone else before you in your own life. By the way, when you say it out loud and when you really think about it, is insane. We all have so many responsibilities in this life, and it's a blessing to be able to be busy, to be able to have a productive life, to be able to work, to be able to have different relationships to pour into. But it's still your life at the end of the day, and you are so worthy, and you are so deserving of putting yourself first in your own life. It makes sense, right? We literally put ourselves last. I'm going to talk about a couple more things that self-obsession has really helped me with. One, communicating. Oh my gosh, when I say I used to be such a bad communicator, like, I'm talking about I would avoid having conversations with people, good ones, bad ones, neutral ones. I didn't like talking to people, and I also didn't like talking to people about real things, serious things, and about conflict based things. But now, like, I'm such a good communicator, it's insane. I pride myself really highly for being able to hold eye contact with people. I will stare into your soul because I want you to know that I'm genuinely really interested in you. Whereas before, I did not have the confidence to do that. I also did not have the confidence to ask people questions, to be inquisitive, and to be genuinely interested in getting to know people. I just wanted to leave every conversation that I was ever having. I feel like I've just come home to myself, and that has allowed me to feel more alive, more focused, more stable, of course. And with that, you just naturally want to gear towards forming connections outside of yourself. And because of that intrinsic confidence and that self-love, I just feel more connected to other people, and it's a lot easier for me to connect with other people. And also, I've become so much more approachable. Like, before, people would not approach me, and I don't blame them, because my energy would just be so isolative. So it's no wonder that people steered clear from me. I actually posted something on my story about this, how, like, love actually heals. It was a picture of me from maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. You can tell that I wasn't very confident in myself. I was wearing this oversized hoodie and joggers, and my hood was up, and I was just like covering my face in the picture. I wasn't really radiating any like magnetic aura. And then it's a picture of me from recently where I'm just like in my baddie energy. I just unlocked this potential within me that is so radiant, so magnetic, so alluring. I used to convince myself, or try to convince myself, that I would dress casually and comfortably because of the style. But really and truly, when I sat with myself and was honest with myself, I realized that no, it was because I wanted to hide. I wanted to hide my body, I wanted to hide myself. I just wanted to be invisible and blend in with everybody. But now I love being seen, and it shows. I did not look or feel my best self, so that's why people wouldn't approach me. But now so many people approach me to compliment me, to ask like how I'm doing, to have like little encounters with me, and it's great. Like, I love being a people person so much, even though I'm still very much an introvert. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was how learning to love myself and obsessing over myself as a result basically allowed me to have this innate, internal, natural state of love. Before, if I didn't come across as this way to a certain person, or if I didn't do this thing on time, I would just spew so much negativity onto myself. And for what? Like, literally, I don't deserve that, and neither do you. But with self-love comes acceptance, and with acceptance comes this nurturing compassion that you have for yourself. And once you know what that feels like, and you understand that you are worthy of feeling that, again, there's no going back from it. It's already there within you. You get to choose to operate from that feeling, from that frequency, whenever you want. But I hope that it's all the time, because I genuinely don't see any flaw in having that natural state of being. Like, compassion and love and peace being your natural state of being. Why would you want it to be anything else? Why would you want it to be sadness? Why would you want it to be anger? Why would you want it to be fear? you're just making your life 100 times more challenging. I genuinely believe that love, especially the love that we can most control, self-love, is so important in having a fruitful life. I'm almost finished getting ready. I just need to do a couple of things and then sort out my hair, get on my outfit, but I'll come back to you when that's all done. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this real get ready with me, talking about something that I'm very passionate about, in case you couldn't tell, and that I'm never going to shut up about. So if you really don't like this content, then I suggest you do yourself a favor and not watch this content. But for those of you that do, I'm very, very appreciative of you, and I love you guys, and I really hope you have a beautiful week ahead. Bye. Mwah.